The point of this video is to do a quick look at a project that I was working on. The project was to turn the metal Freeplay shell into a 3D printable shell. A lot of people were asking for the model files, and what I was working on and really working toward is to have this project completed and to be able to give everybody, whoever wanted, just the perfect final thing and say, there's perfect, how great is that? Yay. But I haven't had time to finish it. I just haven't. I really want to, especially now that I've been looking at it again. It makes me really want to dig back in here, but I just can't right now. So I think the best thing is to give away everything. I just want to give away the project file. I've gone ahead and done a little bit of work on the project file the last couple of days just to make it a form of the project that it will be good to give away, to work with, I think. And anybody who wants to can do whatever they want to, is the idea. So this video is going to be that. I'm going to look at the prints that I have here. These are just the latest and some different iterations of the project. And then we'll move over to the Fusion file, and I'll kind of explain how I have it set up. I don't think it's super complicated or anything like that, but I'll just run through it real quick. So yeah, if you have never wanted to print anything, or if this sounds sort of boring already, and Fusion 360 is not something that's very interesting, it's only probably going to get worse. So you might not want to watch this one. I don't know if anybody can. How do you make a Fusion 360 video, like project videos, like exciting? I don't know if anybody can do that. But anyway, that's what this video is going to be. So if that sounds good, then just keep watching, I guess. Let's go. So this is the most recent iteration. This is what is in the Fusion 360 project. And as printed in ASA, everything, there's 3 parts to it. We have the front, we have the lens insert, it's Galaxy Black, Jet Black, and then Galaxy Black in the rear. As far as the finish goes, it can be much better than this. I was not concerned with the finish at this point. This was form and function. But since I was printing so much, I was taking advantage of all of the prints and just trying different random things. And this one, I believe, was acetone, direct acetone application with a paper towel and just wiping down the lines, just knocking those layer lines down. Oh, by the way, it's printed on the bed at a 45. The rear is. So we do have layer lines in the rear. And then an acetone vapor bath to finalize, to remove any of those issues that are introduced with the direct acetone application, like discoloration, etc. And then, of course, this front is just printed flat on the bed with the lens insert as a separate part, flat on the bed also, so we don't need to worry about supports there. And acetone welded in place. These inserts, I believe it's M2x5, but I don't want to link to a specific thing because then I don't want to rely on the seller to remain consistent. So instead, I have it modeled in the Fusion file with the outer diameter is in there. It's 3.3 by 3 millimeters. I forget. It's in the file. And I didn't have any trouble with these. Yeah, 3.3 by 3. That's what it is, as the external diameter. But anyway, didn't have any trouble with these ever coming out. Whenever I put these in place, I use the soldering iron. I press it down in place, and then while it was still warm, I just squeeze on the center. You know, these inserts, they have a bit of an hourglass type of a shape to them. So that little bit of a squeeze seems to be doing a good job. Yeah. So there's that. ASA, I really like ASA. The feel of ASA, to me, it feels better than like paint. Or maybe it's just mentally, maybe just that I know it's one solid thing instead of being able to scratch paint away, you know, like one solid, smooth material. So yeah, to me, it feels good in the hand. Maybe it's just my paint skills actually too, because I'm not a good painter. Some previous iterations here where I tried to take advantage of nice bed texture, but I couldn't translate that to the rear well enough to stick with the idea. I got large patches and large sections of it, and I thought about splitting it, but it all just became overly complicated. So that's why I ended up going with the 45 degree and the layer lines. Just some jet black ASA will be nice, especially with some extra attention to beautifying it and working on the process to make it better. I mean, paint could work if somebody knows how to paint better than I do. I'm so bad at it. I don't know why I thought it was easy. It's not easy. Anyway, this one here is PLA Plus. Not really any work, not much work done as far as post-processing here. And so you can see, I didn't even have much work on like settings to make it look good for like to do work and optimize the settings. This is just basically functional printing. So, and it came out pretty well like this. So I think just by dialing in the settings, you can come up with some pretty good options. Here we can see some deformation due to organic tree supports. In the model in Fusion, we'll look at it in a minute, and I did make some supports, actual physical supports in the model that might be useful. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember if they were or not. Anyway, even that, though, feels pretty good in the hand to me. Yeah, so if somebody wants to, they could do, I try, sometimes I just try weird things, like here's a mini version. I really wanted this to be a thing. Different screen, of course, and a whole different hardware and all kinds of stuff, but I just like to, I had all the buttons and stuff printed out. Actually, the mini, this is the one I really wanted. And I had the full set of everything printed out and just wanted to make this thing with this tiny screen down there. It would have been so cool. I don't know if anybody's crazy enough to pursue that. Or here's another thing that I was working on. This is the CM3 variant. This is not in the Fusion file. In the Fusion file, we do have the metal shell. We do have all of the buttons, all of the brackets, and all that stuff, but not this. This is just a kind of an offshoot. So, but if somebody really wanted to work on this, I think the majority of the hard work is done, you know, button position, button wells, all that kind of stuff. And then it would just take some work to, you know, chop the backs and get the back to be a functionally flat thing like this. This is, I think, about close to optimal for the CM3 as far as the size goes. We would need a lot of work still, though, but if somebody wanted to do that, they could even run in that direction. I don't know what people want to do. I know I like to try all sorts of crazy things, so who knows what people do. What else? Yeah, so that's probably about it for the prints. It's just, you know, maker mess. It's a maker mess of of a million avenues that could possibly be gone down. And you know, if whoever's interested in spending time in whichever avenue, as I guess. And I might even jump back in here again because I really love this kind of stuff. So I need to get back into it. Anyway, let's look at the Fusion 360 project file now, and we'll see what that's all about. So here's the project file. Here at the bottom, we can see I brought in some items. These are from other project files. There's about 10 related to this project originally. I've broken the links to those and just in order to make this a smaller file size, they're easier to work with, and they don't really matter anyway. What we need is these models. So that's what those are. And then I've tried to break this into like blocks. So we can come in here and work on one thing in a perfect like universe. We can come in here and work on something and not have too many things break down the line. Is the idea, and to try to make it make sense. So we have the front component, the back component, some odd and ends like buttons and trims and things, and then hardware, screws, and threaded inserts toward the end. Finally, with cleanup, spaghetti cleanup nonsense that doesn't make sense to it all be parametric. So let's look at this. At the very beginning here at the electronic internals folder, some good reference things here, and you can drill down into that folder to find more. References folder. This houses all of the original metal shell models that are relevant. D-pad, ABXY buttons, all that stuff, trim, grills, and everything. For the essentially, this is the exact same model that was CNC'd with some minor changes, though, like this hollowed out area, this hollowed out area. I started working on this to optimize it for 3D printing before realizing, hey, I might as well just make a completely new project that makes more sense. So, yes, essentially this exact same model that was CNC'd. Now, some of this stuff I put in effort into making them 3D printable because I did 3D print everything. I made all of these things. So the D-pad, you can print the cross as one part there on the bed, and then the bearing on the bed there, and then combine them later in whichever way makes sense. In my case, that's ASA material with acetone welding. I do that a lot. I'm going to try to get through this because I could talk about this for way too long and nobody would benefit from having to sit through that. The front of the shell is just two parts with a lens insert in the shell. So they're printed separately in the bed so we can have flat faces and then combine them in whichever way makes sense. In my case, ASA and acetone welding. Now the back though, here we have something that is special to me and difficult. This wing area, I call it, all these highlighted parts, the wing, oops, and then the battery bump here. They need to blend together. And this is somewhat parametric. Actually, this is a lot parametric because I ran into trouble before in the metal shell when I needed extra space for things. I had a hard time adjusting it because I didn't plan ahead for this complex shape to be different. So I couldn't change it. I lost hours of my life probably doing unforgivable things to make it happen. And it did happen. I made it work, but oof, it's not, nobody wants to do that. So here it's somewhat parametric. We can see, let's look at it real quick. I'm not going to look at too many things because it'll take forever. Nobody wants to sit through that. So we have no crunchy zebra alarms going off as it is in its current state. That's great. So let's go ahead and do a parametric change. Okay, so this is going to be from the front sketch. It's not this sketch, it's not this sketch. It's the very first sketch called Trim Compatible Perimeter. This cascades through a lot of the model because we want GBA trim to be compatible with this thing. So this dictates that. So let's go ahead and change from 68. Let's give one extra millimeter. We're going to go with 69 millimeters. That will help with button spacing, for example. And we're going to see something might break, and we have to go in here and drill into it and fix it, of course, if it does break. But most importantly, the wing and the battery bump should not break. They should adjust accordingly. What do we have? Join power slider. All right, we have one small issue to address. I'm not even going to look at that right now. But what we care about the most time-consuming thing is this. I'm saying that with gritted teeth because of how much time that I've spent on the previous one. So let's see. Nothing crunchy. Everything has as adjusted normally. We will be able to see obvious issues. In fact, the zebra analysis is just we will be able to see obvious issues way before getting into the zebra stuff. So anyway, that's how you would make adjustments with this very first sketch. Again, that's trim compatible perimeter in sketches in the front. A lot of stuff is based on this. Yeah. So I don't know if I said it. We'll see this. The back prints here flat, and the speakers are oriented also this way. They're also enlarged and redesigned a bit so we can fit in like a file just to help out with those surfaces that are maybe supported depending on how you print it. So that 45-degree angle there. These, oh yeah, let's look at this real quick too. And I think this might be it. The back. In the back, I believe I have, yes, supports. So I've played around with this idea of making supports. These are, limiting the contact area. So I don't remember how these went, but these are a potential option, at least to work with in case something like tree supports are giving, or the organic supports are giving too rough of a surface. And then these can also be fleshed out a bit more. I think this is just a rough pass at it. So yeah, that's how the back prints. So, hmm. For the most part, that's the basic part, the basic layout of the model. It's not too insane, I think, and hopefully it is somewhat robust is a word I'm going to try to start using. As far as parametric changes, reasonable parametric changes are concerned. Although, just like you saw, if you do make changes, we are going to you have to track down whatever small things couldn't have been accounted for. Yeah. So anyway, so that is a look at that. I hope that if anybody, so if you do end up doing something with this, comment or link your thing because I really would like to see. And if you see my project file, if you could give some pointers or tips about it, that would be nice. I don't really care about YouTube channel as far as like channel stuff goes. You guys probably know that. I don't. I'm not like a real YouTuber or anything. But comments and stuff would be nice as for helping out and hanging out about this, or linking to projects that I could check out. I really would love to see if anybody does anything um, with it. So, guess that's about it. Thank you for watching.